After struggling again last week, Anthony Richardson has been replaced by Joe Flacco as the Colts starting quarterback. Colt, what have you seen from Anthony Richardson, and what does he have to do for some long-term NFL success?
I feel bad for the guy, but he just doesn't do the simple things right. The game plan stuff, the things that you talk about going into the game. We're going to get this matchup, throw it here. The day one and day two install type plays where you're just running simple concepts. He's just not seeing it right. He's picking the wrong side. They ran Hank backed up before the half, and he picks the wrong sides. It throws a pick, changes the whole game. It's just little things like that over and over. As a young guy, he just hasn't figured out yet. He's very athletic. He's got a huge arm. He can make plays. He run people over. He's strong. He's tough. He's got a lot of qualities that you like. I mean, they picked him with the 4th pick in the draft. But at the end of the day, you got to play quarterback, man. You got to be able to just touch balls, like manufacture a couple completions. They just haven't been able to do that, and it's really frustrating to watch. And that's why you're turning to Flacco, because they're still in it. What did I do?
I don't know if you got to touch balls or not, but I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what Anthony Richardson has to do. He's got to get in shape, man. You got to stay in all plays, not just 65 out of 66. You got to stay in every snap, Anthony. You can't take a breather.
Before we continue with the video, I have to ask one favor. Make sure you are liking, subscribing, and turn on those notifications. If you like this type of content, if you like hearing us talk football, hit that notification button. So every time we drop a video, it is coming straight to you.
And I'm telling you this, all right, if anybody scouted Anthony Richardson coming out of college, they knew that he was going to be a project. They knew that he had trouble throwing the ball accurately and on time. He was wild. But we knew he had great talent, he had a great arm, and the upside was going to be possibly through the roof. Now, all of a sudden, you're seeing all the negative things. The ball's in the dirt, the ball's being thrown 15 yards over receiver's head, into coverage, taking sacks. Unfortunately, there's not enough of the splash plays that you need to have when you're a big athletic quarterback to warrant you continue to keep playing. So I think the move is to go to Flacco, what you're going to do, let Anthony Richardson take a step back, study the game plan, continue to get reps in practice, work his fundamentals, and who knows what will happen next year in training camp or the following year. He's a young, talented kid, man, but he's got a long way to go when it comes to fundamentals and throwing the ball accurately and on time.
I'm sure some of his receivers right now are kind of like secretly cheering. You think about Josh Downs and Michael Pittman. It's like, hey, we're going to get Flacco in here, and he's going to complete the ball hopefully over 44% of the time. When you're getting compared to, as a quarterback, Jamarcus Russell in terms of like completion percentage, and Tim Tebow, no offense to those guys, but like 40% completion is not going to get the job done. What type of pick-me-up does bringing in a guy like Joe Flacco do for the team? Even though they can't say it out loud, AQ, what type of pick-me-up does that provide to the locker room?
It's huge because, listen, you've been watching what this guy's been putting on tape all season long. He's a 44% completion percentage. He was that same guy in college. We're sitting here expecting something different. I don't know why. He did this. He's doing the same thing in the pros he did in college. It's just in college, he's a better athlete than everybody, so he can make some things happen that you maybe not be able to do in the NFL. But here's the deal. Potential gets you fired. We do this all the time. Like, we can sit here and say, oh, well, this guy's got a great upside. This guy's got a great upside. But what does that get you if it fails miserably, especially in a top 5 pick, right? You go 4th pick overall, you're expected to do it now, and nobody on that team has faith in him. They go to Joe Flacco. They're instantly a better football team. The offensive line's going to block harder because they know, guess what? The ball's going to go where it's supposed to go, and it's going to get completed. The whole team's going to be a better team. We all know that. The interesting thing is I don't know how he recovers from this, right? Like, as a young guy, mentally, when you get benched like this and you're expected to be the franchise, and you tap yourself out in the same week, tough. The whole locker room's looking at this guy like, I don't know about this one.
Have you ever seen a quarterback tap himself out, guys?
Not from being tired, no, but injury-wise, like a sore something, maybe a sore shoulder, like Colt tapped out a couple times on me. Didn't you, Colt? That was a broken leg, right?
Yeah, I played 6 plays after it.
Gruden. He's got a broken leg. He's limping around out there on one leg.
Jack Youngblood played with a broken leg an entire season. I don't know why it's so hard.
Gruden walks out on the field. I mean, what are you doing? Can't you get back in there?
Yeah, tape him up. Put a little dirt on it. He'll be fine. I'll tell you what, he did try. That's the great thing about it. But anyway, no, I've never heard that with a quarterback, and it's unfortunate for him. He did have a long scramble. He shook a guy off. He had a guy on his back. He shook him off and ran for a 5-yard gain. It was going to be 3rd and 20 from the 20 anyway. They're going to run nickel 40 or a draw or something. Feel bad for the kid to be to be graded on that one play for taking himself out of the game. He's done a lot of other things poorly to be graded on, not just that play. A lot of things he's got to get better at. Love the kid. I hope the best for him. But right now, he needs to take his chill back and watch Flacco play and watch how professionals play the position. He'll learn a lot from Joe. That's the beauty of having a backup like a Joe Flacco, because when you have a young quarterback, they're learning from somebody with great experience and great knowledge of the game. And they show you how to prepare, how to play, how to practice, how to get taped, how to eat lunch, how to whatever it is. I mean, it's just a great example for Richardson to have a guy like Flacco.
There's a lot of things that he's just not doing very well. And he's well coached. Cam Turner is a great quarterbacks coach. Have a ton of experience with him. Shane Steichen. These guys are quarterback guys. Like, this isn't the end of the road for Anthony Richardson. I don't think. He's still young. He's still got a lot of upside. But I'm with Jay. Like, he's got to be able to see this. He's got to be able to trust it. He's got to be able to, like, oh, that's what we practiced all week long, and he did it right, and we hit it, and we moved. Like, there's some things that he just has to do. It could be a Bryce Young situation, right, where Bryce has played a little bit more, but sometimes it's okay to take a step back. He's still got a lot of time, and they invested a lot in him. I don't think it's the end of the road, but this is the best move for the Indianapolis Colts right now.
I think what hurts even more is you see Jaden Daniels, you see Caleb Williams, you see Bo Nix, Drake May all having this early success. It can happen. Last year's quarterback class, maybe AR, Anthony Richardson, and Bryce Young should start a group chat, and they can talk through it. We'll throw Gruden in there too. He'll give him some words of encouragement.
They talk to CJ Stroud too. How's that?
Want to win money watching football? With Underdog, you could win up to 1,000 times your cash just by picking higher or lower on your favorite player's stats, like whether or not your team's running back will score a touchdown this weekend. Millions of fans have won billions of dollars on Underdog. Will you be next? Sign up now to get a free pick for your first cash entry, plus up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you deposit. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.
Colt says he needs time. You said we saw this guy in college. He is who he is. What else can we do for him, or is it over for him?
Listen, in my opinion, I think this is a very similar situation than when the Cardinals took Josh Rosen. I think he was the least guy that they wanted, but they also felt like they had to reach for a quarterback, right? Like, it's the same situation that the Indianapolis Colts fell to number 4 in the draft order, which is behind the guys that they wanted. So this guy falls, but we need a quarterback, so we got to rush to judgment and take this guy. But we took this guy because he's athletic. We took this guy because of potential. We took this guy because of the ceiling, right? The ceiling will end up getting this guy fired if he didn't make the move that he made to go to Joe Flacco. And I'm actually surprised they make that, because more often than not, the upstairs people will tell you who to play. And it's actually refreshing to see that, hey, listen, we're trying to win games right now. And we have a chance to win games right now. And the best option right now is Joe Flacco. I think this was a reach going after Anthony Richardson. And I think it's going to be the end of the road in Indianapolis for him. I mean, I just never have seen too many situations that when you stay in the same place and this situation has happened, that it goes well until you go somewhere else.
And you can't even run Anthony Richardson. They do the quarterback design runs, but every time he runs the ball, for being as big as he is, he gets hurt every single time. I was watching the game. He did one quarterback run. He comes off the sidelines and he's like holding his wrist. And I'm just like, so if we can't run this guy at 6'4", 230 pounds, he can't really throw. He can't touch balls. Like, even some of the deep shots, like there was a deep shot to Alec Pierce that should have been a touchdown. And he puts it so far behind him, they break it up. And I'm just like, you're watching. I mean, I don't know what even a Matt LaFleur could get out of him at this point.
He's a very raw individual. And when you have a raw individual at that position, you better be an unbelievable athlete and use your athletic skill set to be successful. And like you said, Pugh, they're not using that he's not doing that enough to warrant him being a pocket passer, because he's not. So if you're not going to run, you're not a pocket passer, then where are you? So let's go ahead and play a guy with a skill set that we know. We know Flacco can drop back and wing it. We know that. He'll get the team in the right run audibles. We know that. Let's let Anthony Richardson chill, work with the quarterback coach that Colt likes, throw some balls on the sideline. Let's try to throw a spiral, try to throw it into the hands right here instead of over his head and in the dirt, and let's try to get it better. But in the meantime, you got to play Flacco. You're 4-4. You're in a playoff hunt. We got to go.